coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. And birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. The front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a good one. Okay, yeah, everything looks good on my end. I prematurely accidentally hit the live stream before I changed the date on the title. So let's see who we got here. We got Vet Firefighter. Good morning, Mark Cooper. Georgie. Good morning, Bestie. Native Pride, Sheila, Mandy, good morning. I gotta adjust my little thing here. There we go. It just droops a little bit. Yeah, it's still drooping. No, that's too much. I gotta find the sweet spot. There we go. Actually, do that. That actually seems okay. I might lower this one a little bit. There. And then I'll bring this one up. Or does that one only go down? That one only goes down, I think. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Oh, good morning, Judy from Texas. Good morning. Lady Jen, Diana, good morning. Mama Coop. The gang is getting here. The weather here is beautiful. I was outside this morning. It was in the 50s when I took the dog out. So that was good. And then it's going to be in the 80s today. So the the avocado tree is still struggling. The rabbits got to it a little bit because when I planted it, I must not have given it enough water right off the bat because the top part was kind of dying off. But then I increased the water, and I've got new growth, but it's all down low. And yeah, the rabbits were grabbing at some of the new stuff. So we'll see how it does. If it dies, I'll take it out and put something else in. Good morning, Joan. Good morning, Jeanette, Mercedes, Tim. Um, I man, I had a bunch of vets that reached out to me yesterday for help. I still got to get through to a couple of them, but yeah, it was. And I didn't go into the office, and on days where I don't go into the office, it's not like like I get a day off. It's I get a ton of stuff that I have to do. I had to go to the DMV. I had to stand at the DMV for a while, and then I had to drive all the way down to Palm Springs. Yeah. Did you guys happen to see? So yesterday we were talking a little bit of political stuff. I was talking about Trump going to the Supreme Court, and we got a ruling. And exactly what I was saying is what was ruled on at the Supreme Court. Exactly what I said. And when you follow these court cases, you start realizing, there's some things that you can kind of um what do I say? There's some things that you can kind of rely on, I guess, is the term. And yeah, yeah, I was like, that's what happens. That is absolutely what's happening. This thing is still like bent. Okay, and now it sits super low. I don't know. I'll I'll have to play with it because if I put it too high, it blocks part of my monitor, and I like being able to read all your guys' comments. That's why I don't keep one on, why I don't keep the microphone on the desk, because then it's right there, like it's in my line of sight, blocks part of the monitor, and blocks me from being able to type. Um, huh? Oh, that's spam. I got people messaging me things, and it's stuff that I'm like, yeah, no. The 130-page budget proposal that was passed in the Senate, will the House pass it as they should? I think they will. When you have both houses from the same party, it's rare that they're gonna have major things that they don't agree on. So yeah, I'm not worried about a budget not passing. For me, I'm all these people always freak out whenever they shut the government down. I'm like, shut it the fuck down. Because when they shut it down, guess what happens? A lot of our debts and stuff slow down. Um, but yeah, just as I said with that case, I knew the Supreme Court they like to deny things on a procedural basis, and that is exactly what happened. They didn't want to deal with the procedures of that case, so that was just an easy out for them. Easy out. Just to be like, oh no, you didn't file it right, so we're going to send it all back down and tell the judge, no, you have to deny it and tell them they have to do a habeas corpus. Exactly what I was saying yesterday, and I was like, "Yep, I could see that one coming a mile away." It's rare that I get shocked by the Supreme Court anymore. They generally, they, especially with this court, they like to tip their hat to stuff. Like they will issue a order on this case, but they're kind of alluding to the next case that comes out. Uh, Justice Thomas was like that with the Trump case of the where it went up about the it was the case that Judge Shutkin had. Um, Not the documents case, but it was one of the others. And Clarence Thomas wrote the thing and was like, "Oh, this prosecutor was improperly appointed," and w- was alluding to, "We're going to kill that case." And Judge Cannon was like, "Hey, I can see they're already going to do that, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it." And then the government can try to appeal based on those grounds. And they didn't appeal. Shocker. Shocker. Um, but yeah, these activist judges just need to stop. That's some of the stuff they're doing is just ridiculous. I'm trying to pull up my X account here. Nothing too big about the Jeremy Hale's case. I saw that we had the response from David Helm. Not a bit. Like, I wasn't too impressed with that. Oh, now we need more time. Okay, well, what do you need more time for? Well, they didn't answer the questions appropriately. The judge will grant it, unless if Randy objects, but I don't see any reason for Randy to object. So I think the judge is going to grant it, and it's just another delay. But yeah, Randy's going to give a more detailed. Okay, you want more stuff? Sure, sure. Because there is stuff on Helm. There absolutely is. Um, so yeah, okay. You're not going to bother Randy. Um, did anyone go live and read that? Did Georgie and Coop? I was just too busy yesterday doing a bunch of stuff. Um, so I don't know if they read it. Um, yeah, and you can tell. See, this is the difference between a good lawyer and Bruce. With this lawyer, um, he's already talked with uh, he already talked with what's it with Randy, and Randy was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll I'll put more detail in, sure." It was already granted. Now Randy has to reply. Yeah, and that doesn't shock me, especially this early stage in this case, because this one's brand new. Um, we're nowhere close to discovery. I don't even know. Do we have a timeline? I don't think we have a timeline for trial. So delays. Okay, yeah, the judge will happily grant delays. We'll get to everything. Oh yeah, yeah, vet. They've got enough stuff on. I believe that Shara has given them more than enough stuff to include Helm in the conspiracy, and that's all you need right there. Just stuff to show that there was a conspiracy. You tearing apart my bed, you silly dog. Loves tearing apart my bed. I make my bed. The dog and the cat tear it up. Not so much the cat, more the dog. The schedule hasn't been set. Okay, yeah, I didn't think we had one yet. Oh, thank you, AVA. I appreciate the link. Someone else dropped the link. I did notice. I don't know who it was, but thank you. The link to our thing. Um, the GoFundMe for Larry Bea, which I got a shout out from another show yesterday. Larry Bea was on um, what show was that? It was comedian Gino Bisconti's show, and they gave me a shout out on that. So thank you to them. So there's the link to Larry's his fundraiser. 40,000 goal. They've raised 24,000 already. But yeah, he's fighting stage 4 cancer, and he's already on borrowed time. He was supposed to. The doctors gave him until December of 2024, and he's still out there touring as a comedian. That link isn't valid anymore. Was it because I saw it was .com and then there was a slash something else? Good morning, Seagirl. So, is there anything you guys want to talk about this morning? Because I didn't have anything planned. I just was going on looking at the news. Disturbing theory about a veterinarian who was banished days after a clip of him abusing horse went viral. Bar slam for naming drink after date break drug. It's just gross and offensive. They'll sell a lot of those. It's called Rolfinol. Is the name of it's Midori, peach schnapps, tequila, and lemonade. That actually sounds pretty good. I'd probably, yeah, give me a Rolfinol. Laughter is the best medicine. That is true. That is true. Um, oh yeah, they're talking about this flooding. I think is that down in Kentucky where it's flooding? Charles Barkley ignites San Antonio war with big bitches taunt. Charles Barkley, if you guys, oh, Georgie's got new merch. Post the link to it, Georgie. One of the funniest things that they ever did on NBA Tonight was they would always tempt Charles Barkley into talking about the women of San Antonio. And he'd be like, yeah, those big ass women in San Antonio. And it was like this recurring joke, and eventually they told him to stop and they couldn't talk about it anymore. But he was on stage, and yeah. I've got people messaging me. I'll have to get back to them after I'm off. Shock details of Trump assassination suspect Ryan Routh's alleged plans to kill the president include Ukrainian ties. That doesn't surprise me. If they're crazy on one thing, they're crazy on other stuff. Oh yeah, next month is the Real ID deadline. If you don't have a Real ID, you will not be able to fly with your driver's license. You'll get a Real ID, people. I've had one for probably about 2 years. At least 2 years. But that was why I was at the DMV. Mine expires soon. And I'm having disabled veteran put on my license because we can do that here in California. So I'd take the paperwork all in and wait in line and sit there. And yeah. And I did. There was a guy there with his dog. It wasn't marked as a service dog at all. So it was not a service dog. And I know that because it started barking at a little kid that was like walking around. And they did come out and tell him, hey, if you don't stop the barking, we're going to have to, have you take your dog outside. Which, that's true. That is, even if service dogs, if Gloria were to be barking, yeah, excessively barking, even a service dog can be removed. And the people who don't know that, who say that, who will argue that with their service dog, it's probably not a service dog. They're probably just bullshitting you, and they think that having a service dog means you can do whatever you want, and that is not the case. If your dog is unruly, causing a disturbance, or is not potty trained, you can be asked to leave with or at least asked to remove your dog. I know I'm now to the point with my PTSD. Um, I only really need her when I'm on base. If I'm going on base, most times I take her. It's rare that I don't. Is that fairly new? Adding veteran to California driver's license? I want to say it's probably about 10 years old. That uh, once I'm now 100% disabled, so I have disabled veteran license plates. Um, shouldn't they have proof that the dog is a service dog? There is no proof required. All The only thing they can do is they can ask you, is your dog a service dog? What task is your dog trained to perform? No, a vest is not a requirement. I don't use a vest with Glory anymore. In fact, I'll show you guys. I'll go get some more coffee and I'll turn on the music. I'll show you what I actually use for Glory and I'll get more coffee. I'll be right back.
Coffee brewing, birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. Brand new America's awakened to a brand new day. Sweet old tune. Old vinyl spin a sweet old tune. Sleeping day starts dancing under a sprint. Smudges on fingers. Loose print smudges on fingers.
There we go. So this is the leash that I use for Glory. Now, I've obviously got our little poop bags and everything. This is a crossbody leash. So it goes around me like this, and then I attach this to her. And that way I'm completely hands-free. I'm not holding on to the leash. If I need to see, she's like, oh, where are we going? We're echoing. Oh, that's weird. But yeah, if I do need to correct her, I can still, tug on this, which, we're connected then, so she can kind of feel me, and dogs respond to touch and feel. So if I need to give her correction, I'll yank on it, and she'll, respond. But here's what I have. Now I got both the leash and this little thing, which comes right off, right like that. I got these both off of Amazon, and I love them both. Oh yeah, my pleasure, Joan. Me and Joan talked off air yesterday about uh, some veteran stuff. So this just snaps right on, and I don't use a vest for her because it gets so hot out here. Now in the winter, I will use a vest, but I do have this, and it says "Service dog, do not distract." I still get people who will distract her, and they do want to pet her. And I'm okay with that. I want people to ask me so I can still give her the command. And what's funny is if if I'm not watching and someone goes to pet her and I don't notice it, she will visibly like recoil, and then people will be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I'm like, she knows she has to get the command. Now, in the building where I work, she doesn't get the command. That's her space. It's just like being here at home. Uh, she knows she can go up to people and be pet. So uh, that's her space. That's where she's comfortable. So she won't wait for me to give the command, or if someone goes to pet her, she knows everyone in the building. They'll just pet her, and that's fine. That's fine. She's not breaking any of the rules or anything like that. But yeah, crossbody leash, highly recommend. Highly recommend. Um, because you can still have your hands free, and there are times where I'm carrying stuff and whatnot. And yeah, there are days where she's a dog. She gets excited. She does like to be in front of me. Uh, but she doesn't normally pull me unless we're going to something that she wants. Like in the mornings when we go, because every morning we go. I host my morning meeting, and then we go for. I go get more coffee and some sausage, and she gets some of the sausage. So she gets very excited for sausage, and she will pull me then, and I just give her a correction, and yeah, she'll stop. But here in Minnesota, you have to have a vest for your service dog. That's not correct, Mary. Uh, it's a federal law. Uh, the ADA is a federal law in Minnesota. If they cannot, they can like do things to aid the federal law, but they can't put more stuff on top of it. That would be considered uh, discrimination. Only time I've ever had to show proof my working animal was to past landlords. Yes, so those are emotional support dogs. Um, an emotional support dog is allowed to stay wherever you are as long as that landlord is meeting certain HUD restrictions. Like if they just have one house, they can ignore but if they have multiple homes, and I forget what the number is, and a lot of landlords don't realize when they violate it. Uh, because if they have multiple homes, I think I want to say it's like five or more, but don't quote me because I've never had to look into it. But I am in several service dog and working dog groups. But yeah, emotional support are protected for homes. Here in California, they have more protections. Like there are places you can go with a service with an emotional support dog, and they're protected. But that is not every state. Uh, my palm she is so old. I'm her service person. People like who get to know me and get to know Glory, they're like, she has more anxiety than you. But that's actually a good thing because she's alerting me that, hey, this is not the greatest thing. Like I have no problem with crowds. Some people with PTSD have a lot of problem with crowds. She does not like crowds at all. Does not want to be a part of crowds at all. So she'll be letting me know, hey, this is a situation where you could get anxious, but I'm not getting anxious. She did such a good job. We were at Dollar General the other day, and the people right in front of us had a Frenchie bulldog, and that both dogs did a very good job. Theirs was clearly not a service animal, but their dog was only looking at her, not barking or anything, just staring at her. And she would look up at me and then look at the dog to tell me, "Hey, Dad, there's a dog there." And I was like, "Yep, we're gonna leave it." And she, okay, and just ignored the other dog. And that's temperament training. That is the hardest thing about some of these dogs is they have to pass temperament training, and some people just don't understand that. Yeah, uh, we have a medical alert, no vest or ID required. Landlords can request a letter. Yeah, that's true of everywhere. They can't put restrictions onto the disabled because that's discrimination. HUD homes have. Yep, I hate crowds. Mm, I, yesterday was good for my PTSD because I was down in the Palm Springs area and I went to a couple places. Like I was in Target and I was in Walmart, just doing some random stuff as I was waiting for an appointment. And it was good for me because I do have a tendency to stay here all the time, and I have to force myself to socialize. It does a couple things. It keeps me from being depressed, and it also kind of like just kind of opens me up. Um, and like today, I don't feel because sometimes that'll be energy draining for me, and then I need a couple days of staying inside. I didn't get that yesterday. I feel great today, so it was just enough for me. I'm just looking through the news here. Madonna and Elton John settled their years-long feud that I had no clue about. What? I also watched a thing where a woman was like, she was mad. She's like, why are straight men determining what's a high value woman? And I'm and she like was like straight men, and I'm like, who do you want to determine who is attracted to what? Do you want gay men determining what makes women attractive? I don't think you do. I think you want straight men determining what's attractive and what's not for when it comes to women, or at least heterosexual women. Rain energy snack. uh, uh, it, do the red ones make it rain? That's what charms do. Uh, In the MRE pack, there were these things called. It was this little candy called Charms, and it was like a lifesaver. Um, and yeah, the whole thing was if you eat those while you're in the field, it's going to rain. And almost every time that I've gone to the field here in the desert, it has rained on me. Here in Belgium, a vest or something shows the service dog is necessary. Yeah, here in the U.S. it's federal law. That's why across the states they can't make a federal law. Uh, like there's some things they can do, like areas that the federal law doesn't touch, but they can't take the federal law and make it more restrictive of what it does talk about. Good morning, Candy. Um, I need to get back up to Minnesota. We used to go to Minnesota when I was married so that my ex could see her family, but then so I could fish. If it ain't raining, it ain't training. That's right, AVA, 100%. Uh, oh, you've written a lot of letters for people with emotional support. Yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me about, hey, can I train my dog to be a service dog? And the answer is yes, you can. 100% you can. Here's the problem though. Will they pass temperament training? Like I got a buddy of mine, he's got two dogs, both trained as service dogs. However, one is not a service dog. And it's because he got two Labradors. Well, actually, he got the one that is not a service dog. It was fully trained and it couldn't pass temperament. It just couldn't ignore other dogs. He's so friendly. So he was like, I love this dog. I'm going to keep him, but I still need a service dog. So then they got him another dog, one that did pass the temperament training. So now he's got two dogs. And yeah, they're a black lab and a white lab. And they just run around. Like, they're so friendly. And the one that's not a service dog, he's just like the nicest dog. Um, just loves everybody. And that's kind of the problem. He can't ignore people. But he's got two really great dogs, both of them very well trained. Um, so that is the benefit. What I've also told people, because I have gotten physically attacked, and if you guys haven't seen that video, you should go into my playlist for service dog harassment and watch. It's ridiculous some of the stuff I've dealt with. But I got physically attacked by an older couple out here because they wanted my service dog's papers, and there are no papers for a service dog. And but the one thing that like the cops were ready to arrest me because they told the cops, oh, he attacked us, even though like I was doing a Facebook Live because I was like, okay, I'll go live on this, and that's where I got the video. And I told the cops, I was like, no, they attacked me. I have it on video, and they were kind of not believing me, and they're like, well, your dog's not a service dog. I'm like, who said that? And they're like, well, they said you don't have papers for it. I'm like, service dogs don't have papers. And I was able to show them Custom Canines is who trained Glory. And one of the things that they do for their people is they give us a dog handler's card to show that I am a trained dog handler. They trained me how to handle the dog. So I was like, no, here you go. That's who gave me the dog. They're certifying me as a certified dog handler. And they were like, I was like, the dog doesn't have papers. I have papers. And that's the only reason I didn't get arrested that night. And it's because the cops don't know. They don't know. But they were like, okay, so yeah, this is a service dog. And then they were willing to look at my video. And then they didn't arrest those two, but they gave them like um, the charges, which essentially is an arrest. They're just not putting them in handcuffs and taking them to jail. They're kind of released on their own recognizance. And that's the problem with my DA. He I was okay with him dropping the charges on that one, but then I was also attacked uh, by a director aboard McCagsey, the G8 director of mission assurance, Hal Sellers. I was attacked by him, and uh, with that one, they also didn't press charges because our DA was like, well, like with me, him and I, we mutually pressed charges. Again, they said I attacked him, but I have the video of him coming up behind me and attacking me. Uh, with that one, the DA was like, "Yeah, you're clearly defending yourself." I was like, "Okay, so what are you going to do to him?" And had they said, "Look, we're just going to drop it to misdemeanor, disorderly, or something," I would have been okay with it. But what pissed me off was they were like, "No, we can't take this in front of a jury," and they're like, "Because you beat him up." I'm like, just because he attacked me from behind and then I turned around and got better shots in doesn't mean I don't live in fear. And, you know, it's just because our DA here is lazy and doesn't want to do anything. So, twice on camera in this county, San Bernardino County, I have been attacked on camera, and this DA will not do anything about it. I had a written form from my GP for Daisy May, but wasn't required to show them. Oh yeah, the kitty jumped on. Yeah. He whenever I'd come on, he wants my attention. Hey Kang. He's not even gonna Kang. He's not even gonna look. He's like, I don't care. Oh, there he is. What are you doing? He loves I put in a screen door and now it's warm enough that I can leave the screen door open. So he just sits and he like we had birds trying to build a nest and he was staring at them. Like he wants to be an outdoor cat. He's gotten out a couple times, but then just sits out in the sun. I might start letting him go out a little bit at a time. I just don't want him out at night because we get coyotes out here. I do want to get like a barn cat that I could have out here. I'm laughing about these deportations starting again. It's like, yeah, of course. The Alien Act, it's still a law. Like, it doesn't matter that it's 200 years old. It's still a law. And we get back to absolute powers of the president. Cats are a trip. This is my first cat. First one I've ever had. I'm looking at the time. I'm gonna have to start wrapping up here. Build him a catio. So I've got one project I'm working on, and I do want to enclose. I've got a porch, but right now I just have blocks down. I got to figure out if I'm gonna keep doing the blocks or if I'm just gonna put wood. And uh, I want to enclose that. I want a screened in porch, and then I'll leave the door open so he can go in and out. I have three dogs. One's a service dog. The service dog is pure trained on nightmares and depression, but he's still allowed. Yep, yeah, they can still play with other dogs. Absolutely, they're still a dog at the end of the day. People, service dogs are about like they have the intelligence of about a 3-year-old. Conspiracies like Dad is talking, right? And of course, then the dog chases him away. Well, that's the thing with the Alien Act. I'm trying to think the full name of it. Yes, they do have to be a part of. Um, it's a national security, so it does have to be someone who's a part of a group, and that's why they're naming all those different gangs. But all illegals should be deported, and if we strengthen the border and deport the illegals and allow them to then do legal immigration, I'm perfectly fine with that. But that's the problem with the legals, people who came here, immigrants who came here legally, is they get mad about the illegal immigrants. They're cutting the line. And that's exactly how they see it. And I agree with them. No cutting the line. Like, carry my Maryland letter and shot record. So I do have on my phone, I do have some of her adoption paperwork, and I do have her um, rabies and stuff. Oh, the weather, I'm the 80 to 40. I'm like, what is she talking about? Okay, yeah, it's not that hard to become a U.S. citizen legally. It's really not. It is not at all. You just have to have the want. And what's funny is people from other countries, like not from Latin America, they don't have the entitlement. And like when they come here, they're like, "Oh no, I'm coming to become a citizen." After Menard, the security guard calls the police on me. What? Over your dog? Glory will sleep next to me. She's been cold here lately, so she's been sleeping with me, but she also likes to sleep under the bed. She likes going in like little cubby holes and stuff. The cat does too. Um, but yeah, she'll go in places like that. MS-13 gangs in the villages of Florida. I have zero doubts. Hi there. What are you doing? You chasing the kitty? Hi. You gonna make an appearance? Say hi to the people? Yeah. We're gonna give you a bath. Yeah. And brush your teeth. You stink. Stinky dog. No one likes stinky dog. Don't be mad. You're the one that stinks. I did give her a breath thing. One of the greenies this morning. Only thing is, those are so expensive. I'm gonna have to go to Tractor Supply and get the big bag of them. They're so expensive. Hi. What do you want? I also want to get Kang a couple costumes. I think because there's some like when I put his thing on him, he initially doesn't like it, but then he will wear it. So I think I could put him in costumes and have him walk around. The cat will sleep on the bed with us sometimes. In the mornings, he does like to lay on top of me, uh, especially if it's cold. He likes the warmth. Um, but he loves the automatic feeder because he doesn't have to try to wake me up. He still will get hungry, and he knows it's going to go off, but he still tries to wake me up to push the thing manually. And I'm like, cat, you're fine. I've looked into Chewy. I don't want it coming to my house automatically. I don't like that. Um, 3D print helmets and masks for his cat. I'm still thinking about getting a 3D printer, and I actually might get one. I'm considering it. Uh, but I do have to end this because I've got to get on with my day. Um, make sure I'm going to put it in again. Here's the. I hate when this stuff pops up right then. Here's the fundraiser for Larry Bea, stage 4 cancer, Air Force veteran of Desert Storm. Um, but what was that when you have time? Bouvier de Flanders. I'll take a look. One place me and my son want to go is to St. Bernard's Pass in Switzerland, which is where they bred the St. Bernard dog. And there's you can stay It's no longer a monastery anymore. It's now a hotel. You can stay there, and the dogs still are there, and they have free reign. So you'll be in your room chilling, and a Saint Bernard will just walk in and lay down and be like, "Okay, I'm hanging out with you now." All right, folks. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your questions, comments. Um, for a couple people, if you've reached out to me, you are on my list. I will be getting back to you. Yesterday was just really busy. Today's going to be easier for me. So I hope to talk with all of you who did reach out to me yesterday. So just know you're on my list. I will be reaching out. It just got crazy. Uh, but I might be doing something tonight. I'm not sure. I'll wait and figure that one out. But all of you, as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.